Hey, this is DJ here from PTA. Been a while for me to be on the desk and actually doing a recording. I actually was pretty sick the last week or so with food poisoning. So, yeah, no more beef for me. But anyway, wanted to go over this trade SKYH. That was my big winner for today. I had SBFM on watch, NKTX. Just didn't set up the way I wanted to till later in the day, so I wasn't able to make that play. But I definitely scored nicely on SKYH. So I placed two trades on SKYH, but then again, the first trade, my stop was really tight, and I ended up getting chopped out for a small loss, and then I gained it all the way back with the next move. So want to go over that trade with you guys so you can kind of understand the breakdown. Now, looking at the daily, you can see that the stock had been on a downtrend in the last couple of days. It actually started to perk up. So what I look for when I see that perk move is something that I saw on a 4 hour, um, whereas it went down, kind of bounced up, and then it did this move back. So this is the reason why I got interested in it, because at this point, um, it was actually in a good place for uh, the pattern that I like to see. So as I always tell you guys, I like to see a pattern. So this was A here with this pull up, and then this pull back right here gave me B. So I was looking for C somewhere around here for the extension, but I had to really play it close. So let me zero it down. We're gonna take it down to an hour. And what happened initially in this trade was I was trying to get in around the 891 area the first time. So let me go back to the 5 minute. So when I got in right around um, here, it ripped up. 915 came out, got me out. But then I waited and I watched it form. So the next time that I got in was at 891. So I had an 891 average there. So when it initially got back up here, I put my stop loss to the swing low, which was here, which was about 60 cent or so risk. Um, I felt very confident just because of how it was stepping. It actually reached out, went to 940s, pulled back to about the 870s, and then it just ripped. When I saw this motion here, that's what got me pretty confident. Now breaking it down into the 1 minute, um, this is where it got interesting, because once I got in, it pulled back, kind of went, and then this little dipped here. Because if you pay attention to it, it looks like it was descending right here. So when it went, made a new top, came back, couldn't break below that. That pretty much solidified the area for me. And I knew that once it got over here, this would have been the area of breakout. And then from there, it just kind of swung. But it never really swung below the swing lows until it got to about up here, when it started to channel. And you can really see the channel on a higher time frame. So let me circle back to the 30 minute, because you guys know I like the 30 minute. When it started to do this in this area here is when I started to like, oh, okay, it's starting to struggle. And then you can see how this right here, let me give you this right here, right there. When I started to see this forming on the higher time frame, I knew that once it broke this line, it was gone. So I ended up taking shares off around the 1030s. But my initial move, most of my shares I got sold off into the 1060s, 1078. I got a couple off at 1090. But for the most part, from an 891 to 1090, $2 move, you can't really complain about that. That was a really decent move, especially with the market that we have been having. Last few days, last week, I really didn't even trade. I didn't find anything that set up properly. This was a really good trade, and that's why I made the bulk of my money. So a lot of times, what I tell people in the Discord is just because you get the timer wrong the first time, just set up, be patient, and then go again. And typically, that second time around, your probability is about 80% that you timed it right if the trend was going in a proper direction, which it was. So that played out to be a very good trade. Now the trade that I missed, which is the one that everybody was playing today, and a lot of people probably made a lot of money off of it, was NKTX. So the problem with NKTX, it had an offering, and ultimately it just was very, very choppy. I mean, it rotated its float at least 3 times today. But what made it really weird was this choppiness here. Because if you take a look at, let's say, the 1 minute, you can really see how much this stock was choppy. So you had this nice little pull down and it ripped up, pulled down, ripped up, pulled down, and a lot of people got hammered right here. My initial entry was right here actually. So I was taking a look at it on the 5 minute, and I was going to get in about right there at 1551 was actually the order that I was trying to get, and I mean it just flew past the order. A few guys who did get in got in a really bad field, 1620s and stuff like that, and then a lot of them got out. They got that quick buck before it flushed, but on a 1 minute it looked like trash because it just slowly grind and they played it back. So he created another a B zone, popped up. So this would have been your area again. It did the same thing, popped up really hard, and then just kind of went sideways. So after seeing that a couple times, I just was like, I'm tired of it. So it ended up flushing right here. When it flushed, I noticed that it was holding pre-market. It went back up. So this created your A. It went back up, and then here it slammed. But with the way it slammed, I knew it was going to retrace. But by this time, it's 2 in the afternoon. I had already had a pretty decent day, so I didn't even take a look at the trade. So as I was looking at the guys talk about it in the Discord, I noticed that it actually pulled back and then it ripped, and then that's when it went bananas. It went to 20 after hours. So realistically, could you have played it? Yeah, if you were there, if you were waiting, so on and so forth. You could see on the 2 hour it never broke trend. So it was always making higher lows on the higher time frame. So it was one of those deals that you can just kind of load in, and pick your pops, and then and allow it to kind of manifest and fold. Because this right here was the trippy one right here. This hour right at 2. So um, if you guys have any questions, concerns, drop it in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. I promise to try to be more on top of this. Again, just was sick last week, and then I took a couple of days off just from trading because there just wasn't any really good trades. And as you get better at trading, as you become more in tune with the market, you just have days where you just don't see a pleasable play. You just don't see something that makes sense. So it's in your best interest in those days to protect your capital, protect your bottom line. If you don't see the right setup, don't force trades, different things of that sort. So thanks guys for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, and as I always tell everyone, stay studying and stay focused.